What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of 4 Dummies, and tonight I am joined with the other 3 dummies. I have Mr. Robert Detoff.
Hello.
I have Mr. Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
Before we get started, if you're interested in the uncut version of this, it is available on Patreon at the $5 level. You can hear me and Robert scream about fans' toys and debate whether or not they are in a good or bad place for a half hour before this thing started, with an extra cup of
we also
coffee.
got the inside scoop.
With an extra cup of coffee that I wasn't expecting having tonight. So it's might be worth a listen. With that being said, you know what time it is. Another collection critique. You know the routine. Check your feelings at the door. And we're going to start with our first entry for this evening, which is Costadin. I'm guessing that's some sort of at.
Without looking, I'm going to say Costa don't. Send us any more photos.
Jesus. Damn, this guy sent like his whole life story.
So yeah, he did send a few. But starting with the first picture, this is the issue. He sent this in February, 2021. I don't know if he's just late at putting the Christmas lights away or if the Christmas lights are a year-round gig.
Right there's a gig.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a gig.
They're blue, that's Energon.
So I don't dig this. Let me say that. I don't dig this at all. But what I do dig about it as an idea is if he had the boxes to all these original game consoles to put up there. You know, like he has the Xbox up there and he has the Sega CD up there. If he had like the rest up there, I think that would be cool. And I think the little Terracon Abominus homage is a nice thing to have as well.
I love the Megazord. Oh, God, yes. And I love how he has his Beast Wars figures, the MP ones, in box. You don't want to take those out of the box. They're going to be worth a lot of money one day, man.
The Bowie pillow.
But yeah,
that naked lady in front of Despotron.
Yeah, that next shelf is a little bizarre. He's got bloody odds and ends, if you know what I mean, going on there. He's got that. Is that awful thing? That Monkey Prime thing. The thing is awful.
He looks like he's dodging a softball.
People defending that in the comments.
Screen accurate. It's the most toy and screen accurate one ever made.
Yeah, well, sorry. And that's a weird little setup too. It's like a little cabinet with a glass case on top.
If you keep going, it's like I think it's in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Wait, but look what he's got in the front row, though, Bobby. On the second photo, he's got his little model kits. What do you call them again?
Gundams?
Gundam. He's got his Gundams.
Yeah.
In the next photo, he's got Dragon Ball Z. See, I actually think this is okay, except for the height.
Yeah, it's the height. They need risers.
Some risers
and
there.
you can't have Beast Wars figures with Goku.
I would dedicate this whole space to Dragon Ball and use risers and break out that vertical space and then lift that Detoff off the floor and put lights in it and you'd be fine here.
And look at that. He doesn't have his Beast Wars MP figures in box.
Yeah, there they are.
They're with the Dragon Ball Z figures.
As one
For
would.
some reason, they don't belong with the first photo Transformers. That's where the Megazord goes and the Dragon Zord and the game console.
It is weird the way everything's like. It doesn't seem to make sense the way you have everything displayed.
Yeah, it's hard to get an idea of what's going on here because of the space. It looks a little tight. You know, it might be out of his hands. Like he's got some nice. You know what I am going to give him some credit for that I like to see.
Fish.
I like his kids' artwork on the bulletin board. I dig that. I do dig that. I got a soft spot for the kids.
And you see the Bowie pillows?
Skullface loves the kids. Yeah, I love the Bowie. The
He's
labyrinth.
got a TV like you love.
I like the comic books on the wall, but bagged and boarded with push pins is not the way to do that.
Yeah.
Get some of those frames. The frames are not that expensive. You can buy them on Amazon. They're like comic book frames. We have a ton of them. They're not that expensive. They come in like 3 packs.
Yeah, they're not that expensive, but you have to buy he's got like 40 of them.
You do, but it's a risk versus reward, cost versus benefit. It's going to look way better than having these push pins.
I agree. That's what I was going to say when we got to those photos. They have to be framed.
Robert, are you just trying to be obnoxious and laugh through everybody's points? Or
I'm sorry. And just look at the couch arm and the cat sitting there like, yeah, did that. And then this guy's couch looks like this, and then he's got a coaster on the table. Like, who gives a why do you have a coaster on the table, man?
Just go with the rings. At least it'll match the couch.
God, look how dirty that pillow is. Look how dirty that pillow with the arms.
Maybe he was watching Cops in it.
Maybe it's shadows.
And he's got, what is that, a pet bird? He's got a bird cage over there?
Yeah, as I say, there's no photos of the birds. So I'm disappointed. And it's weird that, like, if you look at the pictures, like the panoramic, like half of I feel like two people live here. One person's got their stuff together, and the other person just, like, is a total mess. It's like two brothers. Like, when you go
Well, no, it's
when you
probably
start to
a
see, like,
neat
the video
adult
game
with
area.
all these kids. You see the kid down there?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a tighter space, and he's just trying to work around having space for the kid, and which is fair.
I think there's
Shout
a
out to
baby
the-
too with those rings. So.
Yo, shout out to the JVC television. Dude, you can buy a flat screen at Best Buy for $59. What the hell do you have that for?
No, Bobby loves them. Robert, we would still have one.
I don't.
We would still have one. This is a nice TV, Laura.
It wasn't.
Like he's gonna say
it wasn't a bad.
It is a nice TV.
It wasn't
Laura.
a bad TV. And the thing is, if it works fine, why are we spending more money on something to do the same thing when it works fine?
Oh, Laura, you can throw that back at him when he wants to get the next hot toy when he has the other version.
I don't ever do that.
But don't they make adapters for gaming systems now? Like, can't you use a gaming system on a new TV? They have to make adapters. That's a terrible reason.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it is for the old game. That's okay then. If it's for the old gaming, like, I don't know, man. Because this guy looks like he's heavy into the games.
You telling me, Robert, those new TVs don't have those RCA cable outputs? I think they still
have to. Yeah, they've HDMI. They have to. There has to be some adapter, regardless.
I like that he has a lot of different things.
He's got this thing with all these anime stuff and little there's stuffed animals that my kids like.
Betty Boop.
I'll tell you, that kid looks cute and happy, and that means a lot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Bet you this is his daughter's.
Yeah, I would guess. But that's cool.
That's very cool.
I don't know how to fix this.
Yeah, it's like this. So I'll say this. This is what I think happened here. He bought one thing, he put it somewhere. He bought another thing, he put it somewhere. A year went by, he bought enough things to buy something to put all of them in. So he bought that thing to put them all in. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And then over the course of 5 years, he has a smorgasbord full of furniture to put a smorgasbord worth of stuff in. And as a result, it looks like it was all sort of done independent of each other.
Shout out to those granny lamps.
You see the labyrinth?
You know what I do like, man?
Do you have those?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
I'm not a huge fan.
I was.
Yeah. You're welcome to buy some.
No, thank you.
Okay.
So buy them. Do it for me. She wants you to do it for her.
I mean, I love Bowie, and I love a lot of
he's
those.
a big Bowie fan.
I love a lot of those movies from that era. Like I love Dark Crystal, and I love Neverending Story, and that type of stuff. But Labyrinth never really stuck with me.
Bobby loves The Princess Bride the most.
He does love them.
I do love The Princess Bride, but not as much as those other two. So yeah, that's all I got. I think you have accumulated enough stuff. You have some decent stuff. I would go back to the drawing board and sort of figure out something that was more unified to present it in. And I know you're working in space confines. I know you're taking care of your kids, and that's obviously the most important. But if you want to have this stuff look a little bit more purposeful, I think you got to sort of reassess. And that might probably, or it will definitely, to be fair, mean annexing some of this furniture that you have working and then starting over furniture-wise.
Yeah, I guess let me go back and say too. Yeah, I think that is like, especially this the video game corner could just do with a furniture update.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably where I would start.
It's the perfect example. Just those 3 cabinets, I guarantee you, were bought or accumulated at 3 different times to serve 3 different purposes, and now they're all sitting together.
Right.
But it looks like now he kind of has an idea of what he wants out of that space. So just buy something a little bit more unified to kind of check all those boxes, and you might even be able to do it in a smaller space if you buy the right furniture, and then that'll open up more space to do something else with. You know what I mean?
Work.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Matt L. Detolf. He's got some Detolfs. We've seen this before. Wow. These Detolfs on these little legs, and you could put them at different heights. We've seen this before.
I don't know that I care for it.
I'm not sure that I care.
We have.
Yeah, we have. I'm not sure if I care for it.
Yeah, I don't know that I care for these tables. I would rather them be a solid post.
Agreed.
I feel like they're going to tip over, and I know they probably won't.
And they look like something that should be at an elementary school.
Yeah, like he took these from a kid.
Yeah. And also, I mean, like your stuff in your Detolfs isn't really working either. Like it's the same problem, right? They're all the same size. There's no risers.
Well, some of them. This one is not bad.
No, I mean, in pretty much in each shelf, they're all. Well, he's got one with
he's got one with risers. That one looks good.
Yeah, it looks better. But Masterpiece is just not the. I mean, it's very rare that somebody pulls it off in a Detolf. He's got the same setup on the other side,
but he blacked out one of the backs of one of them.
I love how he put the G1 Grimlock on a little riser.
I was gonna say that poor show. Up the shelf. It's really low for that.
Oh, and then he has that thing in the middle. That thing in the middle is that thing we bought.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we bought. We returned it, but yours looks better than what we try to do with it, to be fair.
Glass shelves and the black case.
Yeah. So that black case, the legs protrude further out than the width of the case. So it's challenging to work with. But here's the thing. So when you look at the whole space, right, where he has the pool table, he could do a ton with that space. You know, no disrespect, Matt L., but it does look like you chose, like, what could be the most awkward I could put in this corner. Oh, 6 detolfs at different heights and then this weird case in the middle. It's the wrong tool for that job. You had the perfect space to do something great with.
But even if you go to the next photo where it kind of shows just the edge of the pool table and you get to look at it, I think it's all right. I get it. Like when you're zoomed in on it, it doesn't look so bad.
I agree.
I would like to see that middle case be the tallest and the detolfs get smaller as they go out and not taller as they go out. That's just for me.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree, but I think at the very least he needs more detolfs. Like it occupies a weird amount of space.
Yeah, it is a very it does seem out of place when you're looking at the whole room. What happens if you set that treadmill setting too high and you fly off the back into the detolf?
Hopefully, I mean, if you're going to fly off the back of the treadmill, you're not going to fare very well either way. So
no, it's not facing a detolf. He would hit the wall, whatever's over the wall.
He's got this little cubby with these floating shelves
in the chair.
That's where the Transformers should go.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So good. Have Billies with corner Billies.
Well, he's got his listening station. I hear you. I think that listening station can go wherever.
I think he sits there and listens to jazz.
Yeah, and then the speaker that's sitting up there with the wire hanging down, that's not the right choice there.
That's gorgeous.
Now,
it also could be the start of something, you know.
Now, those 2 detolfs that he has, like it looks like he has a set of French doors and he has 2 detolfs on one side and 1 on the other. He should put 2 on the other and raise those up. That's a great place for detolfs, and some of this stuff actually works well in it. The little King Tut head, the AT, you know what I mean? And the AT-AT looks good in there. The Mortal Kombat statues, I think, needs a...
I think you're better off.
What's the Game Boy, man? What's the Game Boy? Oh, look at Daniel LaRusso.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Matt L., you have a great space.
Yeah.
You have a great space to work with. I think most of your choices, your figure choices here are solid choices. What I do think is the problem is you have them in inappropriate furniture and you have the space to put them somewhere like really thought out, and this doesn't look thought out.
Yeah, I think you need to. I think I agree with Jisk that I would like to see the feet come off and that the black shelf in the middle is the tallest and then the detolfs kind of come down.
I don't think detox, and I think maybe bookcases go inside that little nook. If you put bookcases inside that whole nook, I think you'll be better off rather than those floating shelves and that little awkward table. And then I think that, I think a lot of this is awkward. I think the detolf setup is awkward. I think that the little space in the nook is awkward. I think the one space that you got going for you is the space on the side of the doors. But I'm not sure about some of your choices in there. Like he's got one McFarlane Superman figure like sitting front and center in the middle of the detolf. Like it's just a like. So that's the thing, right? It's that's
where that weird storm shadow should go.
But that's a great that Superman figure does kind of present well for its scale, but it presents well on the floating shelf or in a bookcase. Whereas the AT-AT looks like the Lego AT-AT. I think looks pretty cool in the detolf. Like I think that works.
Is that Leia? Why is that Leia's head so big?
Because it's like I think it's like a doll. It's like a kid's doll.
I don't think it's like he's going for the effect of where you have like a helmet or a weapon and a hot toy, but he's got like a small Lego that's supposed to be a big thing with a large hot toy. It doesn't look right, in my opinion.
Well, no. So I think that the other stuff in the detolf is wrong, except for the King Tut head. But I think that the AT-AT does work in that space.
I think you're wrong though, because the best shelf here is it's the bust of Blade, which I thought it was a cop from Police Academy.
What's that thing behind it?
It's like a cat stretching.
It's a cat with a ring on its tail, and then a collectible coin.
What?
That is a
What are you
beautiful.
talking about?
cat's like, meow. I think he slipped his high school ring on the cat's tail.
On the other side with the Mortal Kombat stuff, right? Like he's got this katana and this Sub-Zero. Like once again, man, it's like you're thinking along the right lines, but you're doing it wrong. It's like these are $50 Diamond Select statues, like previews, like whatever that used to be. They're like the preview statues. They're $50. I have the katana, but there are nicer statues of Mortal Kombat that would go into a DTOF well, but these aren't it. Like I have that katana, I wouldn't dare put it in a DTOF. It doesn't own the space.
I think the reason this guy doesn't have much on his walls is because of the pool table, because he's worried about the pool cues hitting stuff.
You're probably right, but I also think that like this may be like a work in progress. Like he got the room
it feels new.
The ceiling and the paint.
I get the impression the pool table might be new. You know, like so. My only thing is like don't commit to this. I mean, it's probably too far gone now, but like this isn't the way to do this. You have a great space, you have some great pieces, and like you're headed down a path I do not think we can follow.
Reorganize a little bit,
and because everything looks so new, it's not too late. It's not a pain to have to redo this whole room.
Except he submitted it 2 years ago.
When you do floating shelves, I'm sorry, you cannot use floating shelves with those vertical brackets. It's freaking ugly.
Yeah, I know that eats you up.
I hate that. It's like using a utility shelf. Like, why are you bothering with floating shelves when you have these ugly brackets?
Well, or you could paint the brackets, at least paint them the same color as the wall, and they'll be a little less
that would be better.
A little less offensive.
Right. But anyway, it's a great space, great toys. It's just an awkward layout. You could have a great thing going on here, but you gotta just don't go with the cliches, man. Just don't go with the cliches. All right, our next entry is from Eric L. And I do think the space is like a class act.
Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah, I dig the way.
Yeah, this is actually cool.
Yeah, this is cool.
I don't know. I feel like I'm reaching for oregano and I'm grabbing Grimlock by accident.
I don't think so.
I like those build-ins. I think that's cool.
I do too. Oh, I see a little art on the wall that I recognize.
Forget it. It stinks.
A lot of art.
This stinks.
Yeah, so in those build-ins, the backs are painted. I'm not mad at this guy's setup at all.
I'm not either. I'm not mad at it either. I do think that one picture with like the Dinobots up by the vent, he needs to raise them up. They need to get up. Like the swoop looks great. The other ones need to get up also.
I feel like these are all custom for his collection. Like if you go to the one that's got Omega Supreme in it and the Devastator, it looks like they were like built for that reason.
It does.
I don't know. I don't like them behind glass, like framed glass doors. It's very farmhouse. I don't know how I feel about this. This is a kitchen.
Yeah, no, but this.
In the kitchen.
They're not in the kitchen. They're like in the family room. Like the kitchen is off of it. But I dig that, man. Like I dig this. Like I think that some of the layouts can be a little cleaner and a little tidier and tightened up a bit, and maybe some risers and stuff like that. But like the overall blueprint of this, I dig.
Yeah, I feel like it just needs a vibe. Like I don't know if you can put something to sit in there. Yeah, I think I see it has lights in there, so I would have been cool to see a photo of it at night all lit up just to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's even got like lights on the top of the shelves, to shine upward.
I feel like he collects Transformers and makes bread.
He may.
Hey, is there anything wrong with that?
No.
You're just mad because you're not eating bread.
Hey, Laura, you're mean.
No.
I'm not sure how I feel about the ones that had the turquoise backing.
I know that's what I was looking at initially.
And like, I don't hate it, but I think the fact that everything else is pristine, like crispy white, that it looks weird to me.
Yeah, let me go to the other photo and look. And it does look out of place.
Yeah,
but it matches the chair in there. Maybe
it does match the chair, which is a whole.
But
separate.
I mean,
and then maybe that's something that's like, hey, they're just trying it out to see, and then they're going to go that route.
No, I think actually with the teal or whatever you want to call that, they get a little bit more lost per the picture.
Yeah. The bots get lost. Right. Yeah, I agree.
Do you think he put the teal wash rag in the foreground to balance the photo?
This dude
teal
bought that washcloth to match everything else.
Look at the bottom.
I think
right.
Robert is right. I think it is the kid. Like that's a counter, right? It's like an island or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Look at the counter, the bottom right corner of that counter. Mm-hmm. He spray painted that chair that color. You can see the outline of it on the counter. He did it on the counter. And I think that's why the teal rag is there. It's covering the teal spray paint. That's on the counter.
Think?
Yep.
Maybe. Let's look at our last one. This is from old Franco, and he's a DTOF guy. He does have a lot of risers, so that helps. They are posed. That helps.
Yeah. Look crowded.
Little crowded. If you look at this one, the first one with like Inferno and Trailbreaker, like they should probably try to stand a little taller because they get a little bit lost. See, he's got these risers that are like the built-in, like slide them in to your DTOF risers, and I don't think that those are as effective as like single, individually placed risers because they end up looking just as crowded and messy and cluttered.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it looks all right, especially look underneath, like with the grapple, like that shelf. I think that one's cool.
That one's not bad, but all the other ones are.
Because the angle, it works. It gets, plays an illusion of vertical space, and you also get the horizontal space when you're looking down at it.
Like if you look at the one with Sea Spray, right, and Braun with the gun up on his shoulder and everything, like look how much you see of those bots on the second tier. It's really like chest up. And then like
right.
And then it's the same with the two behind it, whereas these other ones, they're kind of, the front row is more crouched, the second ones are more standing straight, the third ones are more standing straight, that's the way to do this. I still think you should get rid of these like generic risers, personally.
Interesting.
I don't know about the puck under Devastator. That's like just illuminating his
crotch. Mm-hmm. I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't like that Devastator light either.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of puck lights in general.
I almost feel like when you're doing a DTOF, you have to go tall bots, more sparsely displayed, higher because you're looking up at them. And then as you go lower, you can become more crowded because more of the horizontal space becomes available visually, and the vertical space is less offensive.
Maybe
that's what I'm noticing on his other shelves.
Well, he's got that Jetfire. So you know why the Jetfire is over there? Because he doesn't. First of all, he's got too many Autobots, right? So he can't put them over there, and the Jetfire only fits on the bottom shelf. Because the bottom shelf's a little taller than the rest of them.
And he used to be a Decepticon.
Yeah, I was like, it works if you put the Decepticon level on.
I'm sure that's what's on there, but that's what he's leaning into, and I don't think that's by choice. I think it's by chance.
No, as a display, if you're displaying Jetfire as a Decepticon, you have to display him with Starscream. Not the Reflector. That's Thundercracker, right? That's silly.
Yeah, but does he have a Starscream?
No, I didn't see one. But look at the pose on that Dirge. He's doing the Matrix pose.
Yeah, I don't hate it though, but I don't like it in the midst of all this. It's a weird shockwave to have too, but that's
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
I don't necessarily think you need to get rid of these risers. I just think that you need to just play around with. I think you need to think differently about how you group these things together.
Because he pretty much has two DTOFs. That's what we're looking at here. He has two DTOFs, and he's trying to cram an entire Transformers season 1 and 2 into both. And it's just like that won't allow that.
But I'll tell you, it's probably the most done up. Like it's the most posed figures we've seen.
Yeah, the poses are great. He did a great job with this posing. Great job. Even that top shelf of the Autobots, like look at that Prime, like knelt down, both hands on the gun, shooting up. Like that's a great pose. The shelf isn't great, but that's a great pose.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with these risers, but like the lines in them and everything are very distracting. But I feel like it makes a busy space look busier.
I think you're probably right about that. But I think that the same thing, right? Like so, like the thing with those risers is it's meant to like, all right, for them anyway. It's like, all right, I'm gonna throw this in there, and then I can pack 3, 3, and 3. And then now you went from, instead of a space with like, unique layouts and everything else, you have just this formula, this format, and they're all packed to the gills, and it just creates the same problem. Like it doesn't, it's just not effective.
I think if he switches out for the independent ones, that could make a big difference.
It will, but he's going to run out of space to put the figures, but he's going to run out of space regardless, so you might as well come to terms with it now, I guess. But yeah, great poses. That's about all I got for that.
Chicken soup.
David Bowie.
Sourdough bread.
Sweep the leg. That big head Leia.
I want.
Oh, that's not nice.